welcome to the April 28th episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. It has been a hell of a week. It's been a hell of a week. Um, for those of you that tuned in last week, uh, I was telling you about what we thought was carpal tunnel in my uh, left hand. We pretty much come to realize that it is not carpal tunnel, it is neuropathy that's moved in. It is, clear up into here, down in my elbow, my wrist. If I grab anything and try to pick it up, it feels like my hand is literally ripping apart right through the center of my palm. Um, I would say probably Wednesday, this hand started getting affected as well. Mostly it's just these two fingers right here. I can still utilize this hand like before. It's very painful. I can feel it in the knuckles and back in here. Um, like I said, if I was a machine, I'd be glitching right now. If I was a computer, somebody would have already gone to Best Buy and replaced me. I'm slower than I've been. I just, and on top of everything, I found yesterday I was having pain right by my pinky toe and the toe next to it on my left foot, and I started feeling around, and there's a lump inside my foot, which explains why none of my shoes have been feeling very good lately. So yeah, it's been a hell of a. Oh, and on top of everything, I've been eating healthier and trying to take care of myself. I was feeling really weird yesterday, about an hour before dinner time, and I pulled out my test kit for my diabetes. And even though I had eaten very healthy for as long as I can remember, occasionally getting something sweet, but not often at all. Um, my blood sugar was 546 and can't figure out why. So, really watching it today. I was 860 when I went into the coma, 9 years ago. So I'm really monitoring that now. Um, glitching, glitching. Man, people are just a talking this morning. Let me jump in here real quick and hit up some of these. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Ty. Morning, Nick. Good to see you, bud. Let me see here. Who else we got? Who else we got? Sorry, missed call last night. Hey, Ben. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Conundrum. Good to see you. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, I've been taking care of myself. I've been watching what I eat. I've been, I've had no issues with any of that. And just yesterday, for some reason, I couldn't get motivated. I was groggy. I just wanted to lay on the couch and rest. And, I checked my sugar, and it was like, my God, man, it's 200 points higher than it's ran for 9 years. What the hell is the reasoning behind this? And I've still not figured one out. I have no clue what's happening. Yeah, exactly. Good carbs are still carbs. You're absolutely correct on that. I mean, even though, now the doctors are saying you gotta consume some carbs because that's where your energy comes from. The conversion of the carbohydrates into energy, or into sugar, which is energy. You can't cut carbs out completely. They say that's the dumbest thing you could do. So I was told that if my blood sugar level hits over 400 to go to the ER. Uh, yeah, I've already got two ER bills I can't pay for. These days happen. My dad has diabetes. He's the same. And young age catching up with you. Yeah, it's just weird. Oh, there's another weather warning. For those of you that don't know, we have some inclement weather coming in today. It's supposed to hit all up and down the east side of Lake Michigan, clear down into Texas. Possibility of high winds, large hail, storms, tornadoes, the whole shebang. And now they've expanded it out over here into southwest Michigan. Yippee ki Let me see here. Your body will convert fats into carbs. I know of 11 or 12 folks that consume zero carbs and are doing well. Stay safe. I like bread way too much for that. I was just about to ask that myself. Yeah, and see, the wife, last night was card night for the wife, so one of her girls was bringing over chicken wings, and they do the unsauced chicken wings. Um, so the wife, I didn't know she was going to do cards last night, so I got out hamburger, and she ran to the store and bought buns. The carbohydrates on the buns was higher than on just regular bread. So instead of grabbing, 50 some odd carbs of a bun to eat my hamburger on, I grabbed 34 grams of carbs in two slices of bread, toasted them, and just put my burger, my lettuce, my onion, everything on toast. And I actually felt better after that, but I hadn't really eaten all day. So, we were figuring that's why I was feeling so groggy and stuff. And it's like, man, we got to find a way to get insurance again so I can go to a doctor and get the medication and stuff again to get myself squared away. You can't combat, the diabetes, the blood clots, the neuropathy, all this, the blindness, without the medication or the ability to go and see a doctor. The state don't understand that, but they don't understand a lot of things as long as they get their $685 paycheck every Friday. They really honestly don't care. So, but it's okay. I still plan on living forever. I'm not going to be the the best shape, but I'm planning on living forever. I even cut out those first 2 cups of coffee in the morning with sugar and creamer in it. Yeah, fall off there. Morning, Jan. Good to see you, sis. Hope you're doing well. But other than the health stuff, of course, I'm wearing Solange patches, pain relief patches on the top of my knuckles. I used icy hot on my hands this morning. Took my snack pack of 2 different painkillers. Um, when these wear out, I'll go icy hot them down again and do my thing. It's supposed to be almost 70 degrees, or supposed to be right at 70 degrees here today. I think it was either 70 or 80. Let's see here real quick. What is it tells us supposed to be today? I thought it said 78 degrees. It's supposed to be 77 degrees here today. So, I'm going to get a little bit of exercise because my butt's planning on going out and working in the yard today. So, hopefully, that isn't going to be a problem. Thank you. Whether I shouted you coffee. If you get what I mean. I appreciate that, Ben. Really do. Hey, I saw the community post about 3 minutes before we started this morning on your videos. So I'll be going over there and checking that out when we're done here this morning. It's supposed to be 81. Bought a few. I bought a new case for my server so I can fit these 9 hard drives inside it. There you go. Hey Jay, good to see you, bud. Um, but yeah, all this stuff is not going to slow me down. Um, Sadly, my second employer, after 4 days of working up there at being the American food cook at the Taj restaurant, um, they decided that I was so good I didn't need their help. So Friday night we had big storms roll through, and everything was pretty much dead. An occasional Indian buffet, maybe an Indian meal being cooked for about the first 2 hours. And about 7:30, at that point I'd already been up for 19 hours. At about 7:30, we had a huge rush of people come in. And inside of about 2 minutes, I had 8 orders laying across my table. Well, you have to understand, if you've never been in an Indian restaurant before, they don't believe in cleaning as you go. They clean whenever things slow down. Could be a half hour, could be an hour, could be 2 hours. And the garbage and stuff had pushed from the Indian chef's make table all the way down onto mine. So by the time these orders came in, I had no space to work. So my first order was 2 pizzas. My second order was four different meals. My third order was a DoorDash pizza. So I'm down here working on the first order, trying to get it in the oven so I can move on to the second order. The boss comes back and he's telling me, no, 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 DoorDash only gives them 15 minutes. Do them first. I'm like, no, no, no. Screw DoorDash. Our waitress should have told them that I was getting hit and they only had one cook for American food because the other two people that worked in the kitchen were just standing there watching me. They weren't doing anything. And every time that I tried to move, they were walking behind me or throwing stuff down on my make table or whatever the case may be. So the boss came back there. Now, understand these people hired me because they know nothing about American food. He came into the kitchen, started raising hell with me, loud enough that the customers could hear him. Started telling me everything I was doing wrong. They hired me as a short order cook. I'm like, no, you called me. You said you wanted a chef. You wanted someone who knew American food inside and out because you guys didn't. So he jumped on the make table, started making these orders all out of whack. He had no track. He wasn't keeping track of what he had made. So he multiple made several things and didn't make other things. Finally looked at me and said, you know what? You can go on and go home. I'm like, cool. By this time, I've been up for 20 and a half hours. And then turned around and told me I was rude and didn't fit into their operation. Now, understand the only thing I said was no, 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 we don't jump around these tickets. You make the tickets in the order they come in. Just because DoorDash, and I found out too that our server who took the DoorDash order on the phone had told him it's going to be 25 minutes to a half hour. And he said, well, we guarantee 15 minutes. And they left it at that. She didn't say, well, he can't do it in 15 minutes because he's got these other two orders in front of it. He has to make these pizzas from scratch. He has to press the dough. He has to do everything for them. He has to monitor them and turn them in the oven. Plus, he's got this other ticket in front of you for four different meals that you can't just walk away from because they'll burn. That was another thing. Burning. I threw like my Philly steak and cheese and everything on the grill, was grilling the onions and the peppers, getting the steak cooked up, put the buns on, and by the time then I went to get in my make table and everything that I had organized the night before, which I was told to organize it my way so it would stay that way, they had changed overnight and got rid of things. So I had to go back in the walk in, grab things out, came back up. The buns were burning on the grill. I looked at the boss. I said, why wasn't someone watching this? They said, not my job. Your job. Your job. And then I realized this stuff was burning. According to the grill, it was turned off. The knobs were both up on off. So the grill has no temperature regulator to it. It doesn't sit at 350. It just continues to burn on high and gets hotter and hotter and hotter. So, needless to say, I'm actually a little relieved that I don't work there anymore because, frankly, I've been cooking as long as this guy's been alive. And if you didn't go out and buy secondhand garbage, things would work a lot better. Let me see here. Lost all your information. I'm sorry to hear. I'll message you. Sucks big time. 24 years old, having to take medication, targeted chemo. Cheers, dear brother. It's okay to share the link so others can view. It's tough to see your kid go through. Yeah, really. The demons have come back during this time. I think 9,000 shows ripped on the so wow. You've been busy. I'm mindful, my friend. Those demons. Normal therapist, keeping straight. Hey, Squatch, good to see you, bud. Um, Man, I still those famous pizzas, yeah. Pizza, tell you, bud. Anytime you feel like coming to America, I'll make you pizza. Yeah, I would love to have 1,000 large pepperoni pizzas. I know 200 supreme and meat lovers pizzas. That will do me just fine. If you do pasta, most definitely grab some. I don't do pasta at work, but I do pasta at home. And I do like when I make pasta, I don't just make just regular old spaghetti with meatballs and stuff like that. I do a lot of Alfredo. I do a lot of penne pasta. Um, One of my favorites, and I actually had this at I don't know if you have them there in Australia, but we have a restaurant chain called Olive Garden here in the U.S., and they do this amazing penne pasta Alfredo with Italian sausage and bell peppers and stuff like that. Real thin sliced, almost like a hair, um, bell peppers. And I love that. That's like my favorite thing on their menu with homemade breadsticks or garlic cheese bread or something. I make that at home. Now, the wife's not a big fan of Italian sausage, but she's honestly not able to tell it's Italian sausage when I mix it in there. Gotta get back at it. Just wanted to drop in and say howdy. I'm glad you did, Nick. It's been a long time, bud. It's been a long time. Hey, how's the searching going for a trailer and stuff like that? Just message me later. I know you're at work right now, so you're probably busy. But yeah, just let me know how things are going. I'm still holding on to all that lumber for the Viking house, so just let me know, brother. Um, Rigatoni. Oh, love rigatoni. I switched to rice pasta from wheat, much lighter in starchiness. I heard of Olive Garden while watching The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, exactly. I've heard references to the place and I've heard good things about Olive Garden. Definitely wouldn't mind to try. Olive Garden's good. Good morning, David. Good to see you, bud. But yeah, it's been a very interesting week. Um, and it's really funny. One of the reasons that I know that this is not carpal tunnel is, well, carpal tunnel is actually a form of neuropathy, but neuropathy, much unlike carpal tunnel, um, when you sleep and your blood pressure drops, this gets much worse. A lot of mornings I wake up, and now I'm glad I wake up as early as I do because it takes usually 2 or 3 hours to get the mobility to even, go to the brewery and do what I have to do there. Uh, but yeah, yesterday morning I got up and well, these were fine. These were stuck like this, and this was like that. No movement at all. Like I said, I put the icy hot on my hands, rubbed it in real good, got it onto each finger, the joints and everything. Then put the Solange patches on, took my snack pack of painkillers, and by 3, 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, I was actually able to make a fist again with this hand. This hand, I still can't make a fist with. So yeah, it's sucks getting old. But then that just raises the question, you know, how long am I going to even be able to work up at the brewery? Luckily, I've spent the last week training a guy to fill in, when I'm doing like the Ren Fair, and I'll be taking off for a weekend in June to do Ghostorama. You know, I've spent a week training him, and I trained him at my style, and the dude's amazing. By the end of the second day of training, which was Wednesday, he was able to copy my style, copy my speed, everything. So yeah, Bill's absolutely amazing, man. Let me see here. Good to see you too, Drew. Welcome to old age. Yeah, tell me about it. I got it at times also. I don't know what it is, but I run my hands under warm water and keep going. I still get it, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, see, that's what I did with this hand at first. When it first started bothering me, just holding it under warm water, or when I was at the brewery, sticking my hands down in the dishwater and just rubbing them together and heating them up. But it's the hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold thing that I have come to find that works the best. Like, I can't pick up my coffee cup by the handle anymore. I can't get my fingers to close around it. So I pick it up like this and let the heat of my coffee cup get into my hand until the cup starts to cool down, and then I'll go into the bathroom and I'll just run my hands under cold water. Come back in here, pour another hot cup of coffee, and just sit here and hold it. Since this seems to be the hand that was affected first and is troubled the most. And I've come to find that hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold really tends to help it a lot more than just hot. You might have a sensitivity to some spices, cooking oils you're in contact with. Ancient developed severe pain in both hands and tracked it down to vegetable oil. Oh, I hope not, because I've been using the same oil since August of last year. Uh, Same oil, and it's just started affecting me here in the last month or so. So I hope it's not the oil, because it took a long time to get me, but once it got me, it got me. I don't know if it's the same for you, Drew, but when it's cold, I find it hard to open a jar. But I run my hand under warm water and let it go a bit, and I can open the jar no problem. I can't open an already opened pop bottle with my left hand. I have to grab the bottle in my left hand and use my right hand. And but the funny thing is, and Jan's had carpal tunnel, so she can yay or nay me on this. But when you grab something. Like I took today's trash day here, garbage day, and I about 7 o'clock, quarter after, I took the trash can down to the curb where the trash truck could pick it up. And when I grip something, I can grip it pretty tight. But if I pull like that, it literally feels like your hand is gonna rip apart right up here at the knuckles. It's like your fingers are just gonna pull off, and it shoots pain straight down into your wrist. It's I'm here to tell you, it's one of the most unpleasant things I have ever felt. Uh, I keep waiting for my knuckles to swell up. Luckily, when I got married, I weighed 265 pounds, when the diabetes thing was preparing to take my life. Since then, I've lost 65 pounds. So I had to wrap my wedding ring with sinew. So if my finger ever does swell up, um, I can take this size 8.5 ring, have them gently run a knife across the band and cut that sinew loose, and it becomes a size 11 again. So I don't have to worry about that. But there's been no swelling, which is funny. There's been no swelling in my hands or fingers at all. Sucks getting old. I'm here to tell you. He'd been using the same oil for years. All of a sudden, caused pain in his hands. He was a roadie. Couldn't even change a guitar string without crying in pain. That from handling or consuming the oil. Consuming it. So he stopped using the oil. The pain went away. That's strange. I don't consume the oil. So yeah, I don't consume the oil. I just basically, when I make the fresh batches of dough, we have the large square plastic Cambros that we put each batch of dough in. We have to oil them, or the dough sticks to it like concrete. Um, so yeah, and then I daub all the extra dough off before I cut the dough and roll it into the balls the next day. But yeah, I don't consume I don't consume the oil. Once you stop getting, I'm getting older by the day. Every day goes from day to night. Today again, I'm getting older. Yep. Yeah, it's one of the constants in the universe. Never get younger. You only get older. Good morning, me. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Will you inhale the smoke and vapors when it cooks? Actually, no. I'm not there when it cooks. I'm only there to make the dough in the mornings. I'm never there when the stuff cooks. So, yeah, not it either. Good morning, Scully. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well this morning. So, what's going on today? Fighting getting older, man, and working on preparing myself for my one and only Ren Fair that I do security for every year in Niles, Michigan. It's coming up here. Today's the 28th. April is a 30-day month, so it's coming up here in 20 days. And, I've not been able to get any canvas for a tent. And I had the extra money working on a new Viking outfit. Still haven't got my drill from the stepson. He just keeps conveniently forgetting it. So I'm probably going to be helmless. I've got all the metal cut for the helm. I just needed to get it put together. A little pissed about that because it's a nice helm. Even had the Odin style wings on the side of it. Um, that was hard to do, to make metal feathers. Um, to make those wings look good. So yeah, I'm a little ticked by that. Um, I'll never go to sleep listening to Appalachian ghost stories. Yeah, I'm relieved. I was able to get this hand more mobile, so um, I can actually hold a needle to sew the large overcoat together that I'll be wearing that weekend. So, yeah, I'm very thankful, honestly. No, they're not pewter. They're steel. They're steel. But I'm taking all kinds of precautions with my hands and stuff. I'm even wearing. I don't know if you guys can see it very clear, but I got my wolves right here. Here, hold on. Now, if you notice, that is silver over copper, and the chain is the same. It's copper, um, and all the silver is worn off of what's in contact with my skin. So of course, I'm using the copper thing to try to you know hold back the arthritis from advancing any in my hands. I've got more uh, copper chain right here. I'll be working on another bracelet to go on my left side. Uh, doing whatever I can. There's no insurance, so I have to use as many home remedies and talk to as many old folks as I can to come up with ideas on how to combat these things as I get a little bit older. And yeah, I'm still not going to let it slow me down. I may be in immense pain when I do things, but I'm not going to let it slow me down. I can't. It's not my style. I enjoy being outside. I enjoy hanging out with people that have the same interest as me. And yeah, I won't slow down. I can't stay boxed up in this house 365 days a year. give me a campfire, give me a bed underneath the stars, and you'll see a happy Drew. I'm even thinking about getting the second channel fired up if I could figure out how to do it. The last time I thought about getting a second channel fired up, I had to go in and switch accounts constantly on on the channel. So, yeah, I haven't figured out how to get a second channel set up yet. But as soon as I do, I really would like to separate Living Histories Mysteries from Black Cat Paranormal. And we've actually, when I woke up this morning, I had a message from somebody who had contacted me last week about her niece's house having weird activities and stuff in it. And so she wanted me to let her know when we were available to come over and check out the house and property. She even sent me pictures of what looks to be men wearing red shirts in the field across the street from her niece's house. And then to the far right was a dark haired woman in a light blue dress. The dress almost looks Civil War era. And the only people that I knew of that you've seen in red shirts during, especially matching red shirts, during the Civil War era were the red shirts that 9 times out of 10 were Confederate artillery units. So it makes no sense being in extreme southern Michigan, extreme northern Indiana, having 6 or 7 or 8 guys out in the field wearing matching red shirts. So I need to do a little bit more delving into that history of the area and figure out what this could be and why her house and the property surrounding her house has the activity going on that it does. She also her cameras also now understand these are surveillance cameras. These are security cameras on the front and rear of her house that pick this stuff up. She has weird lights that show up in her backyard, but if she goes to look out her window, she don't see them. But you could go right back from you can go from the video monitor seeing it to the kitchen window, not see it, and go right back to the video camera, and there it is, or the video monitor. So it's really weird that you can see these things on camera, but you can't see them with the naked eye. I've got 3 channels actually. This one, Vingman and Kasaki, and Team Vingman Paranormal. Bond on the Pierce Brosnan era rips. I need to get a hold of you, David, and figure out how to get a second channel set up if you've got 3 of them. Well, I can't figure it out. I don't even see the option anywhere anymore to when I pull down my menu. I don't even see the option of starting another channel. So yeah, it's bewildered me. Probably infrared is why you can't see them with the naked eye, and cameras can. It's a very good possibility. It's a very good possibility. But yeah, let me see here real quick. I might be able. This might show up. Let me get over here to the messages. Um, okay. Um, if you look like super close, you can see maybe, possibly. Can you see them? And then over there on the far side is the woman with the dark hair and the blue dress. Now that is a security camera photo. Let me see here. Can you see? Yeah. Um, the woman in the blue dress on the far be your far left, and then the guy is in between the two trees. Now, if you go to that, taken with a phone at the same exact time they're showing up on the camera footage, there's nothing there. So it's very strange, and frankly, I can't wait to get out there. Probably it pops up on the sign in page. Pops up on the sign in page. Oh, forgot to tell you guys too. Forgot to tell you guys too. And this was the highlight of my week. Yeah, it's not only been bad shit this week, I actually have had a good highlight or two. Um, I got an email the other day, and hey, Richie, good morning, bud. Good to see you. I got an email the other day, somebody actually responding to my interest in taking Black Cat Paranormal to a TV network. They had received a previous email from me, and they had looked at some of our investigation videos. They said they loved our down home style. They loved how open and transparent we were with doing our investigations. The only issue they had was our outdated and passe equipment. That was the heartbreaker. They loved our style, they loved our appearance, they loved our transparency, they loved how we were respectful, but yet at the same time it was frightening to see some of what we were doing. They liked the history aspect, but they did not like our passe, outdated equipment. So their advice to me was, when I can get my hands on newer equipment, to continue to make my videos and contact them again, and they may be willing to talk about the possibility of carrying us on. And I'm not going to release the channel or anything right now, but there's like two channels that carry paranormal stuff, so you can use your imagination on that. But yeah, They also suggested a website, but once again, Technotard knows nothing about designing websites and frankly can't afford to design a website. So it's funny how even when you're looking for a way to make money, they want you to have money to get the things you need to pique their interest to make money. So it's kind of funny. Everybody's still saying hi to Richie. How's things over there on the other side of the lake, Richie? We got your storm warning now, by the way. Thank you a whole hell of a lot for that one. It was just, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, a little bit of Iowa, Missouri, central part of Oklahoma, down into Texas, and now it's over into southwest Michigan. So thank y'all a whole buttload for wanting to share your shit with us. I really appreciate that. Wow, looks like we lost chat for a minute and then got it back. That is how the world turns. Money. Amen to that, brother. All you have to do is create an email address for the other channel and then make your main channel a managing editor. I did that with my music channel. Yeah, you might as well be. Um, you might as well be talking Greek to me, bud, because I don't understand any of that. I mean, I understand making up another email. That I can do that. I don't know how to make it a managing editor or anything like that. So, yeah, headed home this coming weekend. Very cool. Very cool. I hope everybody's eager to see you. I know I'd be very eager if I was heading back down south. So, oh, that's something else too. You see that? There we go. I got it. Like the sixth or seventh try. I took the trash down to the curb earlier, and I swear to God, if anybody was watching me, they think I was flipping them off. Because I literally, do I have anything here that's the size of, nothing here that's the size, here I'll grab my little house gnome. I was, I was hauling the trash can down like this because that finger won't bend with the rest of the fingers. So I'm hauling it down like this, and that started to pull on my hand. So I turned my hand up like this and was pulling it down. So if anybody was watching me, they probably thought I was flipping them off. So if any of my neighbors watch the channel, I just want to say I'm sorry. I was not giving you the bird. Um, I can't bend. I can if I force it, but it hurts. So natural, and it's like I did with like I showed you guys with this hand last week. It's hard to make a it's hard to get all of them to go down at once, but I can get these to go down. I can get these to go down. I can get these to go down, but I can't get all four of them to go down at once. So yeah, if any of my neighbors are watching, I was not flipping you off. Um, It just hurts to bend all of them down at once. So at least bend all of them down to where I'm actually gripping something. No, they do not. Let me see here. Oh, it was great to see everyone. I live in the town I came home from being born in. So they want you to download ghost apps like everyone else. No, they would like want, you know, stay away from the ghost app thing and actually get my hands on equipment. Um, Spirit boxes, EM pumps, uh, cameras, things like that. It's like they said, even though it's good quality video, you can tell it's filmed on low quality filming equipment, phones. Um, I don't even have the bloody camera sitting here anymore. I used to have a little camera down there, but now I don't know where it's at. What happened to your hands? This is my music channel. I can switch accounts by adding an account with Google or access it as an editor from my main account. Maybe you try a ghost hunting historic thing. I've got both my laptops running now. I'm about to drop a new album on my music channel and this one too. Oh, cool. Maybe you try a ghost hunting historic thing. And see, that's really what I would like to do is go to these different historic locations, these different historic battlefields, um, towns, things like that. Um, there's there there's really no one out there that only does parahistory, and I wouldn't mind being the first. Some of the best responses that I got because of my respect and because of some of the props and stuff that I use. Some of the best responses I've gotten have been from historic locations: Gettysburg, Anderson Cemetery, um, House of David, City of David, you know, places that have that 100, 125, 150, 160 year history. Um, some of the best places I've ever got responses from. So I would not mind doing the strict, parahistoric. I just built $120 server that cost me 550 thus far. Still is cheap for 24 terabyte server. Yeah, I've done the historic ghost hunting thing before, but don't have that many views on them. And see, that's one reason, because when we first started out and we done Gettysburg, um, it did not initially get those two videos. They still march among us. Didn't get a lot of views because we weren't sharing them out or whatever the case may be. And I've rehashed them a couple times, redone the intros, stuff like that. Since I started using Facebook and Facebook groups and Instagram and stuff like that to share out the videos, uh, it's really helped. I mean, it's really um, picked up the views, doubled, sometimes even tripled the views. So don't give me cool. There's a channel that showed evolution of ghost hunting, generation one tools compared to now. History's funny. Most folks don't give a shit about history unless it directly involves themselves. I see that. I see that. You know, I had a yes. I sit and I pick on Ghost Adventures. I have. You know, I will not bash them because I don't believe in bashing other investigators, shows, um, paranormal investigators. I'm not a debunker. I believe in para-unity. Everybody fits in to the paranormal field in some way, shape, or form. Either they are there for research or they are there for entertainment purposes only. But the new episode of Ghost Adventures came on this past week, and the wife and I sat down Thursday night as we normally do, and we watched it. And uh, it was them contacting Harry Houdini at the Winchester House out there in California because he had been there before and he really liked the place. And they had some of his personal belongings. And to me, that was just weird to contact someone like Houdini in a historic location like the Winchester House. So, if I was going after somebody like, let's say I was going after George Armstrong Custer, I would go to a fort or to, you know, Custer Hill, or even go up to or over to Monroe, Michigan, where him and Elizabeth lived at. I wouldn't go someplace that he was only at once. I would go someplace. If I was going after um, Long Street or something like that, I would go to Gettysburg. If I was going after George Washington, I would go to Mount Vernon. It's just I gotta say that this server is by far the fastest computer I have ever seen. Yeah, I'm really hoping, that one of these days I can get my hands on another desktop or something. Because though this little teeny computer that Jared King sent me is awesome for what I use it for now, um, it's so small I have a hard time reading it. So, I need something that I can hook back up to my big monitor, um, because oh, I don't even see the cable now. Um, this has the small ports for, like the plugs that you use on your to charge to plug into the wall piece that goes in the outlet to charge your cell phone and stuff. And then the TV has got the the weird shaped one, the one that's flat on bottom comes up and then comes in a little bit and goes up, goes back down. That's what the TV uses, but the cable I have for the TV has that on both ends, so it won't work on this computer. Um, or I would, be shooting this from a different angle and be using a 36-inch monitor instead of the little one down here. But beggars can't be choosers, and I'm thankful that Jared was able to help me when I didn't have a computer, because it would have, completely eliminated our live streams or anything else because the phones are even smaller and I wouldn't be able to read the comments or anything on them. So, yeah, Valley Forge, exactly. This, well, for 125 bucks, you could get a Dell Optiplex 7040 business desktop. Are quite good for a cheapo. $100 would be nice. $100 would be nice. Sadly enough, $100 might as well be $1,000, because, well, I work my 20 hours a week. It goes in the bank, direct deposit, and I never see it because it goes to pay the bills. So I just basically I work to help keep the place afloat. If I run out of cigars, the wife picks them up on her way to work or from work, or I stop on the way to work or from work, since I walk right past the only place in town I can buy them. I even quit drinking my big things of water. Yeah, uh, these big bottles here that I get at the dollar store, flavored water. I wash my bottle out. We go out and buy the boxes of drink packets, fill it up with cold water, sprinkle my little sugar-free drink packets in it, and this is what I use once a week. Once a week, she buys me a new bottle, so I'm not consuming moldy flavored water. She says it's mold. I say it's the little collar crystal stuck to the bottle, but can't argue with a woman. They're always right. You guys that are married, you know what I mean. You women that are watching, I don't mean anything. Don't worry about it. I just ordered an adapter that goes from the Cat 5 Ethernet to USB C. There are drastically cheaper options for used PCs on eBay. I need to buy a new computer because both my laptops are not powerful enough to handle StreamYard. They're both HP 15S. My new phone has more power than they do. Yeah, I believe it's HDMI. Let me see if I can find that bloody cord because it was laying right here. Let me move my little house gnome back again. Well, I rent my house gnome. Get that off there. Can y'all see that? That's what my cord. It has that same end on both ends of the cord. That's what plugs in the TV, but this is what's supposed to plug into the computer. and it is just the standard flat rectangle that, like I said, your phone charger. Um, Here, hold on. That is what the computer takes. Just your standard flat phone charger plug. Now let's see if I can get this back in there. Yep, there it goes. Okay, we're good. I run to Dell Latitude 6410 here. Yeah, see, it would actually, I could run my two channels, and even if I didn't, switch back and forth, run one on one computer here, run one on the second computer here, and that way I had both channels um, operating at all times. But I don't want to overpower this poor little thing. This was one of his first computers, and it had been sitting around not being used. And when the last computer took a big healthy poop, um, he got a hold of me and mailed me this one. So no HDMI on those, but the TV has monitor input. Ah, who just didn't me. Storm Prediction Center isolated severe thunderstorms today. Yippee ki mutter futter. I know, but this sun is bloody blinding right now. I don't even know what kind of computer this is. That's weird. Oh, it's a Dell. I see it right over because I've got the spooky Appalachia sticker that came on it on my right side, and I've got my YouTube sticker, and I've got Donnie Laws right in the center on the little mouse pad thing. So of course, I got my regular mouse hooked up to it and everything. But see if I sit back here if it's better. Nope, because I can't read the bloody chat. Good morning, Santee. Hope you're doing good this morning, bud. Well, Santee, besides getting older, everything's well. All right, Scully. You take care of yourself, my friend. And it's good to see you. You take care, and we'll catch you later. Have a good day at work. Not that I have an affinity towards Dell, just here by happenstance. I would prefer HP. Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. I love HPs, but whatever. Whatever. And it's after 9 already. Time flies. Time flies. There's got to be something thicker I can hang over the top part of that window. That might be something else on my schedule for today. Because when we have these sunny days like this, it's a killer. I hate it when these things go out because in the end it just gets wet and they don't have to draw on them anymore. Well, Dale, I have to re-drill all the NYX board mounts because Dale uses proprietary motherboards. ATX. Well, at first I thought it was carpal tunnel, Santee, but we're pretty much sure now that it's neuropathy. Which, I mean, carpal tunnel is a form of neuropathy. Um, but yeah, we're pretty much sure. I got to get up in the mornings and pretty much lather my hands in icy hot, and then I put these Solange patches um, on my knuckles and take a what I refer to as my snack pack of painkillers. And after I've been up for a few hours, I start to get enough mobility back in them that I can actually do things with them. It's still funny to watch, but I can actually do things with them. So just part of getting older, man. Just part of getting older. I actually took it a step further and I got a hold of a nurse friend of mine who was checking my hands out the other day. And she agreed that, yes, it could be neuropathy, could be carpal tunnel, but technically, not all neuropathy is carpal tunnel, but all carpal tunnel is neuropathy. So, yeah, but she said it actually has all the effects of carpal tunnel, but it was probably brought on by my neuropathy. So, yeah, yeah, I agree. Self diagnosis is never a good idea. That's why I'm not trying to poke and prod on that lump on the bottom of my foot, um, because I don't want to do exploratory surgery on my own foot. Believe you me, if I didn't run the risk of losing, you know, my left leg, I probably would. But I forgot. Can you not go to the wife's insurance from her work? Nope, nope. And her insurance through her work um, would pretty much cost her about half a paycheck. So yeah, they're not real nice about insurance. She pays, which we still haven't figured out why the tribal courts went after her to pay insurance on the daughter when the daughter's sperm donor pays insurance on her as per court order, and she has state insurance on her. The tribal court went after her and said she also, according to their law, had to carry insurance on her. but that costs her almost $400 a month um, to carry health insurance on the daughter. So yeah, be about the same for me, about $400 a month to carry health insurance on me. Being diabetic, those extremities are very much at risk. Yep, most definitely is. Believe you me, I think about uh, not having my extremities on a regular basis. That's why, with my blood sugar being so high yesterday, I kind of went into alert mode a little bit and have, completely cut out any and all carbs today. Because I want to see, I'm going to check it here um, as soon as we're done, and I'm going to see what my blood sugar is today because there was no reason for it to elevate like it did yesterday. So, yeah, and her and I have already discussed it, and if it's high again today, we're going to go take a little trip to the horse pistol and have them do some testing and try to figure out what's going on. Just because you have unanswered questions um, and you don't have insurance is no reason to slowly but surely kill yourself because you can't self diagnose your issue or properly treat it. Goodness gracious sakes, I cannot believe how fast it's going this morning. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to do a stream again today. I tried to set up this stream on Saturday, and of course, I was getting that same not wanting to schedule it for 2 days away. It just wanted to go live at that time. Yesterday, I sat down and thought, well, yeah, I'll try again. And I went to schedule it, and it's scheduled just fine. So I don't know what's going on with that shit. I got no clue. One minute it works, 1 minute it don't. So I guess I'll just start waiting until Sunday to schedule my Monday morning streams, and hopefully it continues to work satisfactorily, and we can keep going. I don't have to miss any more Mondays. Um, but like I said, the Ren Fair is coming up. I got to sit down today. Um, and it's funny. I have a real hard. Maybe if I. Yeah, that's still pulling on the middle two fingers. Thank God I only use these two with a needle. I got to get that Viking um, coat done for the Ren Fair in 3 weeks, and of course I'll be filming it. All my equipment will go with me. I won't actually, if it's sunny outside, I probably won't be able to see it, so I got to rig up some kind of a screen to go back over my cameras and stuff, so I can see the display on them. But I'll figure something out. It's just how I operate. Um, Still got 8 in here watching. 35 minutes left. That's pretty good. You know, it's amazing how many people talk about how good our live streams are and how much interaction we have and how funny they can be. But if you go and you look at the live stream at this time tomorrow morning, views will be, you know, 50, 60, 70 views, where we've not had more than 11 people in here during the live stream. It's really funny how many people like watching live streams on a rerun instead of watching them live. Thought the whole idea of watching a live stream was being able to interact with the person doing it, the other people in the chat, but maybe I don't understand how live streams work. I'm old. What can I say? I don't know how technology works. I did, however, and this is very, very weird. I did, however, see. I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. If nobody knows what Shark Tank is, it's a television show, and people who have designed something or want to start a business, they go to these 4 or 5 millionaires slash billionaires, and they, you know, tell them about their product, tell them about their sales, tell them about, themselves a little bit, and then try to get these sharks to invest in their company so they can really get production fired. I seen one yesterday, and these guys are using Tesla technology for device charging purposes. That's some weird stuff. To know that they've developed these wireless charging boxes. You don't charge them. You don't plug them into the wall to charge them. They charge off of the electrical energy in the atmosphere around them to charge all of your devices. The same principle that Tesla came up with making electricity free for people's homes and businesses and stuff. You pull the natural electricity out of the atmosphere and utilize it for personal use. It's like you're using technology that's over 100 years old to do something now after it was deemed not usable, not real. Some people can't hit the live stream, so they watch later. Yeah, oh, I know. I understand how it goes. There's several times, that I want to hit certain live streams, but they're on after I go to bed, or I'm out in the yard doing something, or spending time with the wife, or at work, and I have to catch them later too. So yeah, I know exactly how it works. Man, we're finally up to 55 degrees. By the time we get done in here, I might be able to actually start thinking about going outside and working without a coat on. You're too. Nice video on Saturday, by the way, Santee. Bat Masterson Part 2. That was a pretty good video. Of course, I didn't get to watch it till Saturday evening, but because I was at work when released it. But, you know, it was good to see part two. Bat had a very interesting life. Very interesting life indeed. And of course, Mr. Santee, he got right down to the this and that of Bat's life. Real good stuff. The problem with that from the air electricity is that it's very unstable. Electrical components need stability here at 60 hertz. That's why wind generators are so inefficient. But on the wind generators and stuff like that, don't most people have a storage unit on their property somewhere that stores the energy and releases it um, at the hertz needed or required for the devices and stuff like that. I know that our neighbor, which direction am I? Back over here across the street, out the end of the driveway. She has got one of those new solar panel deals that stores her electricity and then releases it into her house at the wattage or hertz required. Um, yeah, just like using um, regular electricity. You too, Richie. You take care, bud. Be careful out there. Those storms are supposed to get pretty bad tonight, so definitely be careful, bud. Batteries are common with solar. Not sure on wind. I don't know. That's I have looked into it. I mean, there are a lot of places around, especially here a couple of years ago, that they were wanting to um, Generac. That's what it is that she uses is a Generac. Um, but they were going to, hook up your house for solar for free. They weren't going to charge you installation on the solar panels. They weren't going to charge you um, as much for the panels. Like I believe it was 50%. Uh, but your agreement was that if they hooked this stuff up for you through their company, that you would sell them your excess energy each month, 3 months, 6 months, however they do it. Um, I think it was like what was the first year or 2 years or whatever, you basically just gave them your excess energy to pay off your bill, and then I believe after you paid off your bill, then they purchase your excess something. I don't remember how it works. I have solar here, but I need to set it up and buy a few batteries and another inverter. Ah, yeah, I don't know how that other thing works. It's all Greek to me. Once again, technotard. No matter how hard I try, I absolutely positively cannot understand how technology works. If it wasn't for the fact that I have a 16-year-old in this house, I probably wouldn't understand how my phone works. All right, there's still things on my phone I don't understand. Electricity you sell is at the cost the power companies buy it for, not retail costs. Ah, see, I don't understand that. I mean, I understand what you just said, but I would have never figured that out um, without you. So, thank you. Oh my goodness. Man, I am so eager to go outside and enjoy a little bit of warm and a little bit of sunlight. I feel like an old withered daffodil. Sit it out on your porch if you want it to bloom real big and pretty. Move it inside if you want to see it kind of close up a little bit and look all terrible and dilapidated. Cannot move myself using my palm. I got to lift with my knuckles. Mm. Batteries are the killer cost wise for solar. No, we pay that crappy electrical bill every month to the electrical company. Severely overcharged for, you know, what importance it is. Mm. Hey, Jan and Jay, if you're still here, how is June looking? Is it looking any better? Y'all gonna be able to come up for Ghostorama? I've not seen either one of them speak for a while. That's why I figured I'd ask just to see if they're still here, or if they've got me playing somewhere in the house and they're just wandering around. Yep, looks like they got us playing and they're just wandering around somewhere. That's okay. I know a lot of people do that. You have to have enough storage for the no sunshine times. And believe me, we have a lot of no sunshine times. We actually have more days of cloud cover than we do sunny days here, regardless of what season it is. We have more days of cloud cover here. That's why I don't understand why anybody wastes their time planting a garden here. Because our tomatoes were the only thing that really flourished um, when we had our garden here a couple years ago. Our peppers didn't really flourish. Our beans didn't really flourish. Our squashes, pumpkins, stuff like that didn't really flourish. Our onions didn't really flourish. But those tomatoes, they blew up. We couldn't use them fast enough. They were falling on the ground. The bugs were getting them faster than we could eat them. So I don't know. Solar will produce on cloudy days, but it's less. Huh. I didn't know that either. Depending on the system, drastically less. Oopsie. Couldn't get my thumb to bend. That hurt. 55 degrees. Well, you can tell it's the last couple of days of April, that's for sure. The other day it was almost 80 degrees after being 72 degrees. Then it was 79 degrees. Then it was 52 degrees. Then it was 57 degrees. And then it was 53 degrees. And now we are going to be back almost to 80 degrees today. So you can tell it's getting to be that time of the year when Mother Nature is trying to figure out exactly what the hell she wants to do. I have solar battery maintainers for vehicles that get about 2 hours of direct sun a day. They keep the things fully charged. With solar, they would be dead in a week or two. Huh. Man, I don't know, but I'm going to have to invest in another chair here sometime soon. You sure can tell I put in a lot of hours in this chair in the last 4 years since the wife bought it for me. This thing's about ready to rip my tailbone out through my bunghole. Or push it up. My ass hurts without the solar. I got you. Yeah, see, I don't know how much more efficient solar is or wind. I know we have no wind turbines around here at all, but here just a couple of years ago, they put in this big solar facility out here on the east side of town. Um, they probably got 200 or 300 big solar panels out there. Here, we would get, because of how the house sits. Since the house sits north and south, you've got the east side of the house that during the summer months, when the trees are all in bloom and stuff like that, that's where we're going to get all of our sunlight, but the trees block most of it. During the evening time, the front of the house facing the west is exposed, but the trees over across the street and stuff are going to block most of the direct sunlight. The only time we have direct sunlight is from like noon until about 3 o'clock facing the south, where there are no trees, but there's also no slope on the roof to point solar panels in that direction. If they would have moved this house in the same way that the old house sat on the property, or even, when they disposed of the old house, put the new house in there sitting east west, we would have had one whole side of the house to put solar panels on that's not blocked by anything, and could actually get direct sunlight on those solar panels from like 11 o'clock in the morning until 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. So, well, to have solar, you need about 10,000 watts of solar panels to run a typical house. So, how many solar panels are 8 to 10,000 watts? Or are solar panels designed at different wattages for, like, do you have solar panels that, let's say, are 5 by 8 that do 3,000 watts, and then you have some that are 5,000 watts, some that are 8,000 watts? How, I don't understand how that works. Somewhere on 24 deep cycle lead acid batteries, 80 to 100 depending on the panels. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, once again, something else I didn't know about collecting solar energy. That it took a certain number of, so, and see, I don't understand that. We have a house just a block away from here that have solar panels on the roof. They've only got 4 solar panels up there facing the south with no tree cover. Um, if that's the case, 80 to 100 watts per panel, they're only collecting 400 watts worth of power a day. Generally, I see 100 to 400 watt panels. Huh. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know, but here lately with these sunny, warmer days, I'll be sitting there working in the kitchen in the morning at work, getting this dough done and stuff like that, and I'll see it start to get real bright, and I'll see the sunlight start pouring in the front windows in the dining room. That's when I take a little break, light me up a cigar, walk out into the parking lot, and just close my eyes and lean my head back and let that warm, sunny, direct UV stuff pound into my body a little bit, and I'll get myself all nice and toasty and, go back into work a little bit longer. Normally we'll smoke out on the loading dock or something like that, but it's all covered by shadow. These warm days, oh yeah. 4 panels aren't doing a lot, but bear in mind that 400 watts will run motion around the house that don't have motors or burners. Okay. Hello, Masha. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well this morning. I would say happy Monday, but I don't know if there is such a thing as a happy Monday. Um, unless you don't have to, go to work or something like that. Then they're kind of happy. Wouldn't be any happier than any other day, I guess, except for maybe the fact that, church bells aren't ringing. I don't even know where I was going with that. be quite honestly, I hi everyone. I don't know how many people are even watching right now. I think they put on the live stream and then go off and do other things. To be truly off grid power wise, I think solar is the key. I can see that. I can see that. That really makes sense. Good to see you too, Masha. I'm normally at at work or trying to catch a nap during the day when you go live, so I haven't even had a chance to see you in a while. I've got to. I'm not going to be taking a nap today because I'm off work. So hopefully you'll go live sometime today, and I'll be nearby a computer where I can watch. Or a combination of solar and wind. See, I'm just trying to understand, you know, why if the wind turbines are so inefficient, why more and more and more wind farms are popping up across the landscape. We just I don't know if it made the news all over the place or not, but we just had a an accident with a semi here in Michigan about 2 weeks ago when they were transporting the tower for a wind turbine, and I guess they hit a bump and it split right in the middle. So you're seeing uh, two halves of this tower sitting on the ground. Of course, they have the extended wheels on the back of the rig. They're sitting cockeyed with the tower pointing towards the ground. The part that was on the tractor trailer is sitting on the ground and got the front wheels of the tractor. So yeah, it was very very interesting. Did a live yesterday, first time in a while. Oh wow, live today at 11. I'll probably be sitting here sewing, getting my Viking outfit done for the fair coming up here in 3 weeks. Um, I'm actually off, not going to be tired. Slept pretty good last night, I think, even though I was up at not even 1 o'clock. Laid down like at 7:30, 7:45 last night. It was card night with the wife and her friends from work. So, I turned on Big Bang Theory and laid down, went to sleep, woke up at, I think it was 10 minutes to 1, and been up ever since. So I'm going to take advantage of it. The time it takes to do a wind farm is its problem. By the time the hoops are jumped through, the technology is 3 generations out of date. It makes sense. But they keep saying that wind is the path to the future. So if that's the case, why are the hoops so hard to jump through to get the approval to put up a wind farm? I mean, besides the fact in a tornado, you've got 50-foot long blades flying through the air at passing cars and nearby farms and stuff like that. I mean, why are the hoops so hard to jump through to purchase land and put up a wind farm. I don't understand that. Nuclear is the path. Really? That seems kind of strange. I've never been a big fan of nuclear energy. I mean, great for running a submarine, good for running a battleship or an aircraft carrier. Um, I don't know if I'd want nuclear reactors and stuff nearby my home. If people weren't so afraid of the stuff. All right, Masha, you take care of yourself. Enjoy your walk with the puppies. And I'll do my best to be watching here in about an hour and what? Hour and 4 minutes, hour and 5 minutes, something like that. Yeah, naval vessels have been on nuclear, yeah, for decades. I mean, what? Aircraft carriers and submarines were using nuclear in what, the 60s? Um, was our first, late 60s was our first nuclear submarine. And then they started utilizing uh, nuclear energy in aircraft carriers and battleships, destroyers, things like that. Be honest, I don't even. I've never looked. That's probably why, but I don't even know what the first nuclear powered naval vessel was. Um, I know that the Enterprise was one of the first nuclear powered aircraft carriers, but I don't really know what the how early the Navy started utilizing nuclear power for their vessels. But like I said, I've never looked either, so God only knows. Setting up small systems that serve a say city block or a single home. What would what would the environmental risks be at setting up multiple small nuclear energy centers um, in a situation like that, though? Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. There's a much higher risk of environmental and human damage from like a 3 Mile Island situation, but knowing the destructive force of a leak or an explosion or something like that with a large um, situation, what what would be the dangers or the capable damage on having multiple small units set up for, like you said, a home or uh, a city block, even a small town, a town of 1,000 people or something like that. What would I yeah. The issue is handling spent fuel. Hmm, interesting. Well, guys and gals, it says we still have 8 people watching. Um, that says 4. This says 8. All the small ones ain't gonna blow up at the same time, so the risk is smaller. That makes sense. It's that time. I've got to get busy. Do some of those ships meltdown. I've never heard of one, which once again makes a good point. Very good point. Yeah, you take care too, my friend. Everybody take care. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy your week. We'll be back next week. Same cat time, same cat channel, and we'll do it all over again. But until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. We do. We'll see you next week. Y'all have a good day. Now let's see if I can do this with no depth perception.